The 2002 UEFA Champions League final wasn't exactly one for the ages, but it was what happened before the match that actually ended up grabbing a lot of people's attention. The match was actually delayed, the kickoff of it, to be specific, because there was a problem that Liverpool fans had of getting inside the stadium. And in fact, later on, there were plenty of news reports emerging that Liverpool fans had allegedly caused a lot of ruckus, and therefore, due to that, even the match-going fans with actual tickets couldn't find their way in, because there was a lot of talk about a fake ticket scam and Liverpool fans being rowdy, and there was a lot of slander thrown the way of Liverpool fans for how it is they had behaved on that particular evening. But now it turns out, thanks to a report that was in fact commissioned by UEFA, that the people who were to blame for that entire fracas were, well, UEFA. You'd think that was a bit surprising, but that's actually has been announced by UEFA themselves, saying that the study which they had commissioned, or the report that they had commissioned, has actually laid the blame squarely on football, on European football's governing body, and what's more, has actually exonerated Liverpool fans, saying that they really didn't do anything wrong. It was totally mishandled by the organizers, and that is why there was so much chaos. So I thought I'd go over some of the key findings or interesting points that were there in that particular report that was commissioned by UEFA. And for starters, let's take a look at the fact that they were completely exonerated. In fact, all of the blame was placed on UEFA. The key or some of the key findings, perhaps the most key finding, is where the panel says that the panel has concluded that UEFA, as event owner, bears primary responsibility for failures which almost led to disaster. Oof. That is no subtle way of putting it. It said very clearly that, look, UEFA, you are to blame for this because you were the one organizing this event. So therefore, you guys need to be taking responsibility for where it is that things went wrong in this particular instance. Right? This wasn't the only major finding really when you're thinking about it, because there were other parts which actually talks about, well, let's see, it talks about, the fact that life could actually have been lost. In fact, reading it out, it says that it is remarkable that no one lost their life. All the stakeholders interviewed by the panel have agreed that this situation was a near miss. Now, again, such as a situation cropping up involving Liverpool fans will often, bring about memories of tragedies like the Heysel disaster, as well as Hillsborough, where unfortunately a lot of Liverpool fans lost their lives, but more importantly, they were also wrongly blamed for causing the fracas in the first place. And the UEFA's report has in fact brought about parallels to the two, saying that, this is very similar to Hillsborough, because the exact quote was that, first off, it talks about the fact that the idea that there were fake tickets were fake, was in fact fake news. It says that assertions regarding huge number of ticketless supporters have been wrongly inflated and have been stated as fact to deflect responsibility for the operational failures of stakeholders. Then, to make things worse, UEFA's report itself actually drew parallels between this and the Hillsborough disaster. So this is what they said. It says that assertions that late ticketless supporters were either the primary cause or contributed to the dangerous events have a particular resonance with Hillsborough, where similar allegations were made. Now, it is worth noting that the Hillsborough tragedy as such was considered such a major thing, not only because Liverpool fans lost their lives, but because Liverpool fans were blamed for the chaos, wrongly so, by the police and even by many a newspaper, including The Sun, which published a number of false reports painting them as the perpetrators of the tragedy. Later on, many years down the line, it was proved that Liverpool fans were not in fact the aggressors and that they really held no responsibility for things going wrong. It was the stadium's poor structure that caused the tragedy. So it obviously, when this happened, it did bring back a lot of unfortunate memories for Liverpool fans. And you can understand why it is that they were miffed at UEFA, and UEFA, sensing that, in fact, they were the ones responsible, even issued an apology to Liverpool fans. UEFA's General Secretary said that, on behalf of UEFA, I would like to apologize most sincerely once again to all those who were affected by the events that unfolded on what should have been a celebration at the pinnacle of the club season. Again, as I said, a massive admission from UEFA, who, it is worth noting, haven't accepted the findings of this study just yet, but have said that they're analyzing it and looking to actually work to improve and things and make things better. In fact, they've also offered things like refunds as well to certain fans who weren't allowed entry or who got entry late. And this applies not just Liverpool fans but also Real Madrid fans, showing just the scale of the chaos that was there. And that UEFA, the French government, the French police and the likes tried very hard to deflect onto Liverpool fans, but were unable to do so because, as it said, UEFA's own panel said that UEFA were the ones who were guilty. The good news is that at least it has now been established that it wasn't really the fans to blame, but shoddy organizational skills and a lack of ignoring warnings beforehand that something like this could happen that led to the unfortunate reality. The only other good news is that thankfully no one was harmed, because truth be told, no one deserves to go to a football stadium and then not come back home. Thank you all for joining us in this particular video. If you enjoy what it is that we do over here at Sports Today, please don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, tap the bell icon, leave us a comment, and also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Last but not least, don't also forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and don't forget to download the AajTak app as well. Thank you all once again for joining us. If you're on the channel right now, please don't forget to check out some more videos that we've done through the day. For now though, goodbye.